to study number 51 in Search the Scriptures. We're in the book of Psalms with this study, and we will be covering two Psalms today, Psalm 66 and Psalm number 67. So if you have a Bible handy, you will want to turn to Psalm 66. If you do not, the words will appear in the video today for you. We're going to answer a couple of different questions from these Psalms, one for each Psalm. And for Psalm 66, we're going to note in detail what God is here said to do with and for His people, and what response ought this to move you and I to make, and what is the condition of sharing in the experiences of this Psalm. And then from Psalm 67, do we share in the longing of the psalmist that all nations might know God and might know His salvation? And by what means did he think that salvation would be achieved? Or the blessing of the nations, salvation of the nations would be achieved. From Psalm 66 and 67 now, let's begin reading in Psalm number 66 with the first verse. Shout for joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of His name. Make His praise glorious. Say to God, how awesome are your deeds. So great is your power that your enemies cringe before you. All the earth bows down to you. They sing praise to you. They sing the praises of your name. Come and see what God has done, His awesome deeds for mankind. He turned the sea into dry land. They passed through the waters on foot. Come, let us rejoice in Him. He rules forever by His power. His eyes watch the nations. Let not the rebellious rise up against Him. Praise our God, all peoples. Let the sound of His praise be heard. He has preserved our lives and kept our feet from slipping. For you, God, tested us. You refined us like silver. You brought us into prison, and you laid burdens on our backs. You let people ride over our heads, and we went through fire and water, but you brought us to a place of abundance. I will come to your temple with burnt offerings and fulfill my vows to you. Vows my lips promised and my mouth spoke when I was in trouble. I will sacrifice fat animals to you and an offering of rams. I'll offer bulls and goats. Come and hear, all you who fear God. Let me tell you what He has done for me. I cried out to Him with my mouth. His praise was on my tongue. If I had cherished sin in my heart, the Lord would not have listened. But God has surely listened and has heard my prayer. Praise be to God, who has not rejected my prayer or withheld His love from me. In Psalm 67, may God be gracious to us and bless us and make His face shine on us so that our ways may be known on earth. Your salvation among all nations. May the peoples praise you, God. May all the peoples praise you. May the nations be glad and sing for joy, for you rule the peoples with equity and guide the nations of the earth. May the peoples praise you, God. May all the peoples praise you. The land yields its harvest, God. Our God blesses us. May God bless us still, so that all the ends of the earth will fear Him. From Psalm 66, let's note in detail here what God is here said to do with and for His people, and what response ought this to move you and I to make, and what is the condition of sharing in such an experience. Well, this psalm comes right out of the gate with praise. Praise is all over this psalm, and praise is given for the many things that God has done. He's dried up the Red Sea. He rules in power. Watches over the nations. He preserved the life of Israel. He keeps our feet from slipping. He tests us. He places burdens upon us as us pass through fire and water, but He does that to strengthen us. And He blesses us with abundant blessings. And at the close of this first psalm, Psalm 66, David makes clear that sin in his life would have kept his prayers from being answered. Answered prayer, which ends up in this type of praise, is based on you and I being people of repentance, people without sin. From Psalm 67 Do we share the longing of the psalmist that all the nations should know God and his salvation? And by what means did the psalmist think that this would be achieved? Well, the salvation of the nations is linked here in this psalm with the praise of the saints for the blessings and the provision of God. I think we've made a real fundamental mistake in Christianity, in our culture. We've forgotten that the greatness of the Christian faith lay in the fact that it is Christianity, and Christianity really alone, that lays that foundation that we are commanded to forgive our enemies. We spend far too much time in our Christian culture trying to determine who the enemy is, and far too little time praising God for his faithfulness. The nations of the world are the soil of our mission field. We've got to stop thinking of them as battlefields and as our geopolitical enemies. We are far more American than we are Christian when it comes to our view of the nations. I hope these studies are helping you to learn. Hope they're helping you to think. Hope they're helping you to go deeper into Christ. Hope this study's been a blessing to you today. Hope you're having a great day so far, and may God richly bless the rest of your day.